Hey, it's Breton Coach, and I've been exploring Tokyo, Japan, the largest city on Earth, which means I've been on a lot of their public transit. And I know they have a very intense and intimidating route map, but let's give you some tips and tricks so you can jump on the train and know exactly where to go. Back to that map for just a second. I know it can look pretty intimidating since everything is going on all at once, but you just need to focus on the part that you need and not get overwhelmed by the entire picture. So it's fairly simple besides that. You just need to know what color line you need and the direction that you need to head, and the rest is fairly self-explanatory. So now that the map is a little bit less intimidating since you're focusing on just the line you need as well as the direction, let's talk about the two most common forms of payment, especially if you're a tourist. You can buy individual tickets for each ride, but that can be a lot to keep track of, especially that you need the ticket to tap off the train too. But I just recommend getting a Suica card, which is specifically for tourists that you can just load up money, tap and pay as you go. Then if you would like, you can put that card directly onto your smartphone, but it's only iPhones. Androids don't have this capability yet, but be warned that then does deactivate the physical card. But let's actually talk about the stations themselves. A majority of them do have some sort of shopping or cafes around the station, but the train platforms and within the station itself has a lot of amenities too, like lockers, bathrooms, and vending machines. For the platforms, there are plenty of ways to help guide you to where you need to go, including signage with the station name, number, and line color, full maps of each line, showing off the connections to the other lines, or if this stop is a connection, it tells you which platform you should be on too. And at one of the stations I saw a sign dictating which car is best for you to get on, depending on where you want to get off. And many of the train platforms do have rails blocking you from the actual tracks, with each train car numbered as well as specific door. If the specific platform doesn't have the rail or gates blocking you, the door numbers will be written on the ground. But while you wait for the train, which shouldn't be too long because they're scheduled every few minutes and are very timely, make sure you look around the station because there's plenty of sightseeing to be had since a lot of the stations are above ground, some are underground. But something to be aware of is that the trains do not run 24 hours and they usually end by midnight, so if you are doing some late night sightseeing or bar hopping, just be mindful if you're trying to take public transit home. As a tourist, you probably won't have to deal with too much of rush hour, but since it is the world's largest city, there will definitely be peak times of people going to and from work, so expect occasional packed trains as well as packed platforms. But since the train is here, let's get on and see what the train itself has to offer. All of the trains in Tokyo are always super clean as well as super quiet because it is a base respect thing. There are some seats in the train, but majority of it is standing room with plenty of places to hold on. Above each door is a screen that highlights the route as well as stops, but sometimes they do play ads as well as displaying other information like the current weather. But there is usually a physical route map in case it isn't displaying the actual route on the screens, so you know where you'll be going no matter what. If you do have a chance to sit down, feel free, but there are just some caveats to it. Just make sure that you're always offering your seat to someone elderly, pregnant, or with an injury. There will be specific priority seats that are in this red, as well as specific priority zones, so just make sure that you're following those rules. But if you want to switch cars for whatever reason, you can go through these doors. Japan's public transit is probably the closest thing to perfection that public transit can be, but there was one instance that something weird happened, so let me tell you about it. Not exactly sure what happened. We were on the train, it was going the direction we needed, everything was correct. Paused at a station for a little bit, announcer said something in Japanese, and suddenly we were heading back in the direction we came from. So we got off at the next station, and I guess we're gonna hop on the next train and hope for the best? But other than that little hang up, everything seemed to go perfectly smooth for us riding the train. Even if we did get lost, it was pretty easy to turn around, reorient ourselves, and get back. So traveling around Tokyo itself via public transit is easy enough, but you may be thinking of what if you're at the airport or need to get back to the airport. What do I do so I can connect to public transit? Well, like everything else in Japan, Tokyo has it figured out. It is a separate ticket from the Suica card, but it is very easy. It's called the Skyliner, which connects Narita Airport to Tokyo's transit system. You can just use regular public transit to get from the airport to downtown Tokyo, but the Skyliner cuts it down from an hour and a half to about 45 minutes. So that is significantly faster, as well as you get to book your own seat, unlike public transit where seating is open. If you are flying into Haneda Airport, it's less of a worry just because Haneda is more closer to Tokyo downtown, so you're able to just jump on whatever line is best for your needs. Well, this has been Brett and Coach going over the Japanese rail system for public transit. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and while you're down there, comment down below what city I should visit for their public transit. Otherwise, I'll see you next time in Coach.